Everyone, Tom James won't be joining us.
Okay, are we ready? Everybody,
Yeah.
We're all set?
Yeah.
Okay, it is 4 o'clock and we are, let's see, pull up these different meetings we have here. Bear with me. We are at, do you have the agenda? You can,
He just put it up.
okay, thank you.
Oh, not the agenda. Do you have the agenda, Skylar?
Hey, Tom, you can just follow that right down.
I know, but I need a copy of the agenda anyway. Okay, we have, that's okay. Don't worry about it, Skylar. We are going to call to order our Northwest JEDZ meeting, quarterly board meeting. Mr. Ward, can you take roll call, please?
Yeah, Mr. Weedman,
Aye, I'm present.
Mr. LaBarbera,
Present.
Mr. Yetter,
Present.
Mr. Camp,
Present.
Mr. Tolliver.
Present. Glad to be with you. Hi, Tom.
Okay. We have the minutes from the previous meeting in front of you. Anybody want to make a motion to approve?
Motion by Tom Camp.
Second.
Motion by Tom Camp, second by Jim LaBarbera. Any further discussion? Okay. Mr. Work.
Mr. LaBarbera,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman,
Aye.
Mr. Yetter,
Agree.
Mr. Camp,
Aye.
Mr. Tolliver.
Yes.
Okay. Next item up is district update. Can we get the update for perfect, thank you.
That's the budget. You need to go down a little further.
Keep going. There we go.
Your update, you're doing better than expected. You're down 3%, actually about 20,190, 96 for the year. So year to date, we're hoping that in the month of October, by year end, I think that you'll be at or above what your collections were last year. So I think you should be in good shape. We bounced back quite a bit in August. We were down in June, we were down in July, and but things came right back. So I think we're going to have a positive note at the end of the year, budget-wise, or not budget, but from a collection standpoint.
BJ, what are you seeing out there?
I'll tell you, I just had a city managers meeting the other day, and one of the things we're concerned about is what's going to happen with the state and the feds on income tax with people working at home. I just think that we're going to run into some crazy legislation that's going to make it very difficult to collect income tax in certain business groups when they allow their people to work at home. A good example of that right now is our own engineering firm. Half of them are working from home. I'm sure somebody's going to challenge the courts on it, or challenge somebody and say, hey, they might work for us, but they're working from home, so that, we don't need to have an income tax charged to me because I'm working at my home in a township where there's no income tax. So
if you're working on a city of Deer Park project or a township project, what about? Is that where we can argue that?
Well, it's going to be how the courts put it all, or how the legislators put it all together. That's my biggest concern. If they leave it alone, we're fine. But it's a different world we're living in right now.
So, BJ, I think there was legislation that actually confirmed that if you were employed by a certain employer, but you were working from home, that the jurisdiction still had the authority and the right to collect the earnings tax from those employees. I don't know if that's timetabled. I'm not positive about that.
I think there was a timetable originally put to it, but there's a lot of things circling back, and we're looking at that. I was talking to the city manager of Blue Ash, Waltz, and one of the things we're concerned about is if they circle this thing back and that they don't continue the way it is right now, you're looking at a city like that losing 40% of their income.
Yeah.
So it's something concerning. The only thing that would help us here in Deer Park, and we're not, we're more residential than anything else, so that's some positives on our end. But the big thing right now is what's the legislators going to do to us is what we're looking at.
Well, we probably ought to investigate that. I'm going to. I have a conference call with Bill Seitz tomorrow, and I will ask him that question.
Well, I got a couple questions for Mr. Seitz.
Everyone
when
does.
time comes.
I know that there was legislation passed and signed that the jurisdiction of which a person worked from, even though they may be working from home, still had the right and the authority to collect that earnings tax. I'm not sure if that was sunsetted or not, but I will have to look into that a little bit further. I didn't think it was, but I'll double check that.
I think what bothers everybody is this emergency order that we're still living under and where that all goes. So right. I think that's part of it.
Right. So are you finding your collections okay in Deer Park?
We're down 50,000 for the year so far, so I think we're doing very well. But we got a lot of people that ask for extensions and everything, so we're still. I think we could probably break even like last year, and that would be good for us. So we're not complaining yet. I just think right now we're all walking on eggshells when it comes to income tax and how that income recovery comes back to the communities.
Have you, and I don't know if you have any handle on this or not, but as it relates to foreclosures, are you seeing more foreclosures?
Not as much on the residential side, but we have a large nursing home that's in foreclosure. And that, I had a meeting with them the other day. That's tied up with a PACE loan, and we got some issues there. Council did agree before the foreclosure notice was filed to allow them to make semi-annual payments instead of annual payments. Right now, that's all hung up in litigation with the courts and that, but we think that that'll go through and we'll be able to be somewhat consistent with staying on track with that loan. The big thing right now is what the state has such a stringent control over nursing homes. And I know Premier had Kenwood Terrace is part of that situation, and how these things move forward sometimes it can be very difficult. We're looking at two possible scenarios. Someone buys it and maintains it as a nursing home, or they part it out. And that's where the receivers already talked to me about that. And
is this the Sosna nursing homes?
Yeah, this is the one over on it's called the Wexford. It's on East Galbraith there.
And I think is that owned by Sosna, the guy who's currently in trouble? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think Kenwood Terrace is in that group as well.
Yes, they are. There's 17 nursing homes involved.
It's a big deal. Okay, anybody else have any other questions? Okay, we will schedule our next meeting.
We got two other items.
I'm sorry. I don't have the agenda in front of me.
Yeah, budget. So, Skylar, can you scroll back up where I put that budget? These were two things that came up. The JEDZ got audited, and I guess in the JED paperwork, we're supposed to have a budget. And BJ, I just threw this together. It's ceremonial at this point. And I kind of, since we have half of this year in and we know about the pandemic, I made some assumptions. I don't know if you want to change any of this.
No, I think we leave it alone. I thought you did a pretty good bullseye on it there, Ray. Thank you.
Yeah, and as BJ already said, we're running okay. I looked at the gross tax collections, everything, and year to date we're just down 2.5%, and this August was actually 6.4% better than last August. So we're not in terrible shape, and it looks like it could come back. So maybe we can have a motion to adopt this budget for 2020.
I'll make a motion to adopt the budget for 2020.
Give a second.
I'll
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Ward.
Mr. LaBarbera,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman,
Aye.
Mr. Yetter,
Yes.
Mr. Camp,
Aye.
Mr. Tolliver.
Aye.
Okay, one other item that also came out of the JED audit. We're supposed to have a public records request policy for a JED, but what we can simply do is adopt the Sycamore Township policy and use that as the roadmap for records requests for this JED. So maybe if I could have a motion to have the Northwest JED accept the Sycamore Township public request record request policy.
Tom Camp, make the motion.
Got a motion? Any second?
Ron seconds it.
Okay, Ron Tolliver seconds. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Mr. Ward.
Mr. LaBarbera,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman,
Aye.
Mr. Yetter,
Yes.
Mr. Camp,
Yes.
Mr. Tolliver.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay. So we'll set up our next meeting. It will be for November, correct?
No, December 3rd, I think.
December 3rd, correct. At 4 p.m.
Yep.
December 3rd.
Do an in-person or a Zoom?
Too early to tell.
I said you'll let us know.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think the Zoom, the authority to do Zoom expires December 1st. Unless it gets extended, we will have to be in person. I believe that's the case. So
Yep, I think you're
let's just
right.
plan for the time being to do it in person. And
Well, if we have it in person, I'll wear a tie.
Oh, gee.
okay, if there's no further business, we will take a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Motion and a second. We have a
Second.
second. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Have a good Labor Day.
Gentlemen, thank you.
All right.
Good to see you all.
Stay safe.
And of course, township people, we just stay on.
Okay.
Scott Armour and Peg Conway have been added.
Peg, how are you?
Good.
Scott, I don't see you. I do now. He's still trying to connect.
You're muted, Scott.
Yeah, that was intentional. Good
How
afternoon.
are you?
Good.
Yep.
Do we have anybody else on from Amberley?
We're going to have Jenny West on. She is our tax administrator. So Jenny West. And we are going to be missing Tom Muthing. Mayor Muthing had another commitment today.
Okay. All right.
Scott, I like that shot. You're outside. Looks great. Pretty good.
He has some amazing settings for his Zoom meetings.
We had to
Where's the beach one?
settings, so we've got a variety of them for, yes. Ah, Skylar's got a good one there. I've had that one, Skylar. I just didn't use it in my.
Skylar, that's a good one. Hey, Skylar, how did you get that picture? How did you get the, aren't there telephone wires run along that street? In front of the firehouse? Can't hear you. I think you're muted. You may be muted, right? I'm not sure why I can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
Jenny just logged in.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it's a stock photo. I didn't edit, so I'm not sure where the telephone poles are.
Okay.
I have one from our office too. Let me see here. There we
There you
go.
go.
Yeah. It's a little out of season though.
We're still waiting for
Coming up on it, but a little
Yeah,
soon.
it's coming up.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a different one, Scott? You
Uh,
didn't change? It looks like a different angle on Village Hall.
it is a different angle, yes. But I've used it before, so.
Scott was working at home at a recent meeting, and I thought his background was fake. It was his backyard. I even didn't believe him at first.
It was the real thing. Let me, I think Jenny's tying in here. Let me just double check.
Okay.
That's the only problem with the virtual backgrounds. You got to be careful. Just sit still.
They used to have chroma key when you did commercials, TV commercials.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cardinal Sin at LW, I'd shoot a Channel 5, don't wear a blue sport coat. Well, nobody told me. So for a session, I had 3 different pattern blues. Go out and buy another sport coat. All went leaking through.
Well, it used to be a blue screen. Now it's green screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them changed, yeah.
Yep. Floating head meteorologists.
Yeah.
Yep.
Talking to the blank wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hello, this is Jenny.
Jenny, how are you?
Good. Sorry about my lateness.
That's
having
okay.
a little issue.
Okay. I believe we have everybody here, so we will call our Southwest JEDZ meeting to order. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from the June 4th meeting. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
I would like to make one change. The meeting minutes say my name is Judy, but it's really Jenny.
Okay, we will fix that.
Thank you.
Sorry, I did not
Any
notice
other
that.
changes? Okay. If not, we'll take a motion to approve.
So
Motion.
moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Mr. Ward?
Mr. LaBarbera,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman,
Aye.
Ms. Conway,
Aye.
Mr. Laumer.
Yes.
Okay. Next up is our district update. And if we can, there we go.
That's good. You can stop there.
Jenny, want to walk through this?
Okay, so I can't see a screen or anything, so
Oh, you don't,
Guide
have
me
it.
what you're-
Okay.
yeah.
So, Jenny, why don't you walk them through the 2020 collections, the sheet that has the highlighting on it that you prepared.
Okay. So Kathy put this together for us, and we're showing that for the second quarter, we're above 2019 by a bit, and we're keeping up with where we were. And so we're pretty happy with that. We haven't had any difficulty with anyone who is in the JED making payments and so forth.
Good. So where were we? Do we know where we were at this time in 2019?
Yeah, we're 5.1% behind. That's on the gross collections.
Which still isn't really very bad, all things considered. I think.
No. And we actually, the second quarter of 2020 that we just finished is a little better than the second quarter of 2019 by about 3%.
That's really good.
Yeah, I think that's terrific.
Are you seeing anything out there that any issues with anybody?
I'm not seeing issues with anyone. I would caution, though, that next year, when we have returns and we have deposits for withholding and so forth, that is going to probably dip because of the COVID situation and businesses either not being in business anymore or they had to furlough some of their folks who are working. So while things look pretty good at this point,
Right.
that could change moving forward.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
No questions for me.
Okay. If there are no other questions, you want to bring the budget back, Skylar? Roll back up?
Yeah, roll back up to the budget. This came out of the audit that was done of the JEDS this year, and one of the things that we were supposed to do per our paperwork was have a budget. And so I took the liberty of throwing this together. I did use a little bit of the knowledge of what we know so far of 2020, and this is just kind of what I came up with. Scott, I don't know if you want to amend this at all.
I think we're into September of 2020, and I think the numbers look okay.
Yeah, it's ceremonial for this time, but can I have a motion then to accept this budget?
I do have one question before you do that. On the 1% administration allowance, is that a capped figure?
I think it is.
It is.
And is it capped at $4,000?
It's kept, well, it's kept at 1%. I think that's based on, isn't that based on these numbers above?
No, I think it might be capped at a dollar amount. I don't remember. But I think you're right, it's capped.
Okay. I'm just not that familiar yet with how
Yeah, you'll have to go back and
JEDZ
look
is
at
set
that.
up,
'Cause,
so.
yeah, it didn't match, none of yours matched the 1% even when I looked back in time.
Okay.
So I may have that one wrong.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, any other questions?
My only question would be, Ray, are you doing a 2021 budget?
Yes, I'll have that for you in December.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
We have a motion to accept.
I move that we accept the budget as presented for 2020.
I'll second that.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Warwick?
Mr. LaBarbera,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman,
Aye.
Ms. Conway,
Yes.
Mr. Larmer. The other item that came up in the audit is the JED is supposed to have a public records request policy, and the easiest way for us to do it is that the JED can accept the township's public records request policy as the policy, and that will cover us. So if I can have a motion that the Southwest JED accepts
Excuse me.
the Sycamore Township public records request policy.
A motion?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Ray, you might just have you sent a copy of our policy to everybody?
No, but I will.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Warwick?
Mr. LaBarbera,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman,
Aye.
Ms. Conway,
Yes.
Mr. Larmer.
Yes.
That is all.
Okay, and so we have our next meeting is scheduled for December 3rd at 4:15. And if there is no other business, we will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you.
We have everyone, Tom.
Okay. Just give us 1 minute and we're ready to rock and roll here. Okay, it's 4:30. Welcome, everybody. We are here for the JEDZ Kenwood East meeting. The first item on the agenda is approval of minutes from June 4th. Do we have a motion?
Motion, Ken Bourne.
Second.
Motion by Ken Bourne, second by Jim LaBarbera. Any further discussion? Mr. Warwick.
Mr. LaBarbera,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman,
Aye.
Mr. Moeller, Mr. Bourne,
Yes.
Mr. Staubach.
Yes.
Okay. Next item up on the agenda is our district update. Tom, you want to walk through that?
Why don't you go up one, Skylar?
That's Amberley. Hang on. Sorry, these are out of order. I apologize.
Skylar, this is East.
Yep.
Keep going down, get their report.
Central.
There it is. There it is.
Okay, Tom, are you on? Tom Muller?
I don't see him.
I see him, I just don't hear him.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
probably on mute.
He's not muted, it doesn't look like.
Okay.
Can you hear us? Tom, just shake your head. Can you hear us? We can't hear you.
These numbers show that we're ahead of last year, both on the month-to-month by 18% and year-to-date 2.9%. We're quite a bit down from what the July collection was, but year over year, we're in good shape.
Tom, can we get you on? Maybe to answer some questions, perhaps? Hey, Rob Ebel, is there? Can you see? Is he hooked to us with audio?
Tom, it shows microphone and video.
Tom, there's like a chevron looking arrow next to the audio button that you hit that, it may give you some options to select different audio inputs. You may have to just select the right microphone.
He's calling in now.
Yeah.
Am I on yet?
Yeah, go
There you
ahead,
go.
Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Okay, all right, good. All right, sorry, everybody. That's it. I'm not sure what the problem is. We haven't had the issue before, but I thought I'd just go ahead and call in, and we'll do it this way.
Okay.
Okay. So Ray started in on this. Our year-to-date collections are up a little bit, by about 40,000 over 2019. Monthly gross collections for August 2020 are 170,000. We have a 2% collection fee of 3,400, 2% refund allowance.
Hey, Tom, can you hold on 1 second? Skylar,
Sure.
I don't see that on my screen. Does anybody else see that?
Yeah.
I see it. I got it now. Thank you.
On mine.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. No problem. 1% administration allowance is 1,705. Net collections 162,000 for the month. Net distributable income after the reduction of the bank fees is 161,918. Township has received 145,726. Year to date, they've received $1.432 million. Madeira's distribution of 10%, we received 16,200 for the month of August, and almost $160,000 year to date collection. So East seems to be doing okay. I mean, I guess that's the best way I can explain it. We're up a little bit over year to date, and that's certainly, as I told City Council with our earnings tax collection, that's a win.
That's
Are you
shocking.
seeing that in Madeira as well?
We are actually down about 2% on our earnings tax for the year as of through the end of July. We haven't tallied our August yet, but it's certainly a lot better than we had anticipated.
Good. Any trouble spots in Sycamore in the east?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, Christy hasn't made me aware of any issues that we're having.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean the numbers are surprisingly looking good.
Yeah. I said and as I've cautioned the City Council when it comes to earnings tax collection, this is obviously through. This is for 2020, and a lot of it is 2020 collections, but certainly we're going to be hanging on for dear life in 2021 because we just don't know how much of this is going to continue to roll over.
Tom, so the nucleus of this JEDZ district is office, obviously.
That's correct. Yes. So
can you tell me? We had this conversation with one of the previous meetings we had, and the suggestion was made that they were concerned about the fact that there's a possibility that they will not be, because everybody's working from home, they will not be able to collect an earnings tax. But I thought there was some kind of legislation that was passed, and maybe you might know through the Municipal League, whether or not we're going to have the ability to continue to collect that without any interruption and without anybody contesting it. I thought that was the case, but can you expand on that?
It is. Yeah, there is, when the state legislature started passing, I'll just call it COVID legislation, one of the things that they baked into a House bill was that the place of employment was still to collect earnings taxes, and they were still to benefit from that. However, there are court cases now going on, mostly up in northern Ohio, but obviously they'll have a ripple effect, that needs to be overturned. So there's been no change as of right now. So even if somebody's working from home, but there are home bases in the JEDZ collects the taxes, and we then get the revenue from it. But if there's any kind of a court case that would overturn that, then the home residence of that individual would start collecting the earnings tax. So it could have an impact on the JEDZ.
The interesting thing about that is, because of reciprocity, everything usually equals out pretty evenly. But
it generally does. It just depends on how. It depends upon the business to residential ratio that a community has. So for a blue ash, it could be really bad.
Sure.
But for for a Madeira, it might be really good because we're primarily residential. For a Montgomery, it might balance itself out because they're not quite so heavy on the business relative to their residential. So it really depends upon the breakdown between commercial and residential.
Do you know where that court case is currently?
I do not. No, I can certainly find out for you, and I can send it to everybody.
Could you? That'd be great. Yeah, I'd like to try to follow up.
The Ohio Municipal League's been tracking it for us, so.
Because for us, it's pretty devastating, obviously.
Yeah. For a situation like this, it could have a significant ramification, particularly when it comes to the East, which is primarily office use.
Right. Okay. Anybody else have any questions about the update? If not, we'll go to the next item on the agenda, which is the budget. And you want to scroll to that, Skylar?
Yep, I'll take that.
The East budget first.
Yes, sir. There we go.
Per the audit, the JEDZ got audited this year, and one of the things they spotted is we're supposed to have an annual budget. So I threw this together, and I kind of used some of the knowledge we have of this year just to get something published. And Tom Moeller, I don't know if you want to change anything on here.
No, I mean, it looks, yeah, it's pretty consistent with what we've been reporting, Ray. I would be fine with that.
Okay, if I can get a motion then to accept this budget.
So moved.
Motion by Jim LaBarbe. We have a second.
Second, Tom Mueller.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Mr. Wirt?
Mr. LaBarbera?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Mr. Moeller?
Aye.
Mr. Bourne?
Aye.
Mr. Staubach?
Aye.
Okay, the other item that they pointed out in the audit is the JED's supposed to have a public records request policy, and the cleanest way to do this is the JED can simply accept that the Sycamore Township public records request policy. So if I could get a simple motion that the Kenwood East JED will accept the Sycamore Township public records request policy.
So moved.
So moved.
Staubach.
Yep. Second, Tom Mueller.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? I did ask Ray. Ray is going to go ahead and send a copy of that to everybody just so we have it.
They're all pretty consistent.
It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. I mean, everybody.
Yeah, they're all pretty consistent.
So it doesn't really matter. But just for the record, we will have one sent to everybody. So if there's no further discussion, we'll Mr. Work will take a vote.
Mr. LaBarbera?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Mr. Moeller?
Aye.
Mr. Bourne?
Aye.
Mr. Staubach?
Aye.
Okay. The final item on our agenda is the date of the next meeting, which will be December 3rd at 4:30. And if there's no further discussion, we will take a motion to adjourn from the.
Hey, Tom, I have a question for Mr. Mueller back on the whole working from home scenario here. If you do work from home, if this court case fails, do you have the option of, if you're working outside Madeira, for example, do you have the option of just going on like you always do, or do you have to calculate days? You know, what's the rules on that? Are they forced to come in and identify which community they were in, or is that a self-reporting?
Yeah, Ken, I don't know that they have established all of that yet. So I think that's all to be determined right now.
I know in the past, some people where I work, if they travel a lot on the road, they tracked how many days they're out of the country, out of the office area, and it was more of having to go and fight for it versus, a requirement to do it. So.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find a little more information, but my understanding is that that's all on the table right now.
Okay. That's the only question I had, Tom. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? If not, we'll take a motion to adjourn from the Kenwood East.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, Rick Staubach.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are adjourned.
I want Skylar to be careful out there sitting in the road.
Right.
He's got his purple. He just got his purple belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Skylar.
Thank you.
Does that help you jump over cars?
It helps me to roll with them when I get hit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to see that one, Skylar, jumping over the car.
Yeah. You're probably Somebody
Okay,
put a dent in one like a deer. Yeah.
There you go. It's 4:45. We're going to open up our JEDZ Kenwood Central District JEDZ meeting to order. Call to order. Approval of minutes from June 4th. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I don't know who got it, so I'll second.
A motion by Jim LaBarbera.
Second by Ken.
Okay, second by Ken. Any further discussion? Mr. Warwick?
LaBarbera?
Aye.
Mr. Weedman?
Aye.
Mr. Moeller?
Aye.
Mr. Bourne?
Yes.
Mr. Stahlbach?
Yes.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a district update. Maybe we can scroll down to that and go through this.
There it is. There.
So this is the Central JEDZ. Year-to-date collections is a little over $1.7 million, 1.760 as a matter of fact. Last year to date, through the end of August, we were at 1.766. So we're only $6,000 off of the total collections between 2020 and 2019. And I'll use the same expression I used just a moment ago. Considering everything that's going on, that seems like a win. Monthly collections for August of 2020 at 205,000 versus 157 in August of 2019. With 2% collection fee of $4,100, 2% refund allowance of $4,100, 1% administration allowance of $2,000. Net collections $194,837. Minus the bank fees, we're at $194,771. The township has received for the month of August $175,293. Year-to-date collections $1,517,678. Madeire's distribution for August is $19,477, and year-to-date collections are $168,630. So you can see it's I think we can use the word flat, but again, considering everything, that's pretty good. And we haven't received any or are anticipating any issues with any of the accounts so far. So no reports of any issues.
Tom, I'm not expecting you to know this off your head, but you might. Monthly, this is for the end of August. How does the monthly end of August compare to July, June, May? Are we seeing a trend in the upward direction, or is it flat? Or?
Yeah, it's gone up a little bit. Yeah, I don't have those numbers right in front of me, but my recollection is that it has gone up. So it is trending upward.
I'm just shocked that it's higher than a year ago.
I am too.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, I
can't get my head around that.
No, as I said, I was really surprised. I was surprised by the numbers as well.
People are tired of being at home.
There's a lot of pent-up demand.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, this is the town center, right? Central?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, this is the town center in Sycamore Plaza, Jim.
That's incredible.
And the collection. And the collection is also in this.
Yeah, the chemical collection is also in there. That's correct.
Yeah. I mean, I'm staggered by these numbers. I'm having a hard time believing because you got to remember we had the mall closed for how many months? 2?
A couple, yeah. Maybe not quite 2, but
some of them still didn't open when they opened the mall. So,
I guess if they were getting the PPE or not the whatever the government PPE,
I think
PPP, yeah.
PPE, that came out of their pay or from the businesses themselves, so they would have withheld taxes on that because the businesses got the money and paid out, so it was still taxable collections.
Right.
Yeah, I'm still finding that hard to believe.
Well, we'll see how it continues.
Yeah, I mean, we might get a real surprise that everybody's overpaid, and that the subsequent collections may not be as good. But I mean, we can't argue with this. This is great.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions on the update? If not, we'll go back to the budget items. Ray?
Yeah, I did the same thing here, Tom, so I just took a shot. Does that look all right?
Yep, I think it looks fine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, that's consistent.
Okay. If we have a motion to approve this budget,
So moved.
Bourne.
Staubach.
Second, Bourne.
okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Ward?
Mr. LaBarbera,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman,
Aye.
Mr. Moeller,
Aye.
Mr. Bourne,
Yes.
Mr. Staubach.
Yes.
Okay, the last item is the public records request, as we talked about in the East District. Do we have a motion to approve the Sycamore Township, adopting the Sycamore Township public records request policy?
Yeah, Tom Muller, so moved.
Have a
I'll
second?
second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Ward?
Mr. LaBarbera,
Aye.
Mr. Weedman,
Aye.
Mr. Moeller,
Aye.
Mr. Bourne,
Yes.
Mr. Staubach.
Yes.
Okay, and the next date of the next meeting is December 3rd, 4:45. If there's no further business, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, we need a second?
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Stay safe, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
We'll see
Be
you.
well.